Starting. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to podcast number 79 of BRAP, Basement Radio Arcade, the best goddamn podcast on Wednesday night, the definitive podcast on Wednesday night, the 4K podcast on Wednesday night, the 60 frames per second podcast, and the Bag of Dicks podcast.
The Eat a Bag of Dicks podcast.
Yes.
You know, Frankie and I are working this out, man. We're going to work it into Twitter where no matter what, when we say goodbye or peace out, hey, hope you had a good day. Hope everything works out. Eat a bag of dicks. You know,
that's a new see you later right there.
That's it. That's the see you later.
Oh, shit, that's pretty aggressive.
Damn, Anchor's in there already. What you say? What's up, Anchor?
I think he is. I don't think he's in the live chat anymore because I think he was going off to play like Lawbreakers or something. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Chicken Spaghetti? Chicken Spaghetti's in the house.
Chicken, my man. I'm 100% there with you, bro.
Wow, Chicken. Wait, hold on. I just want to read this. Chicken Spaghetti in the live chat says, HellBlade, Sensua's Sacrifice is the game of the generation for PlayStation 4. Wow.
Hey, wow. I tried to tell y'all don't sleep on it. Try to tell y'all don't sleep on it, man.
Yeah, man. I'm almost done. And right now, that's like my front runner for Game of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing.
They delivered on it, man.
Well, gentlemen, we'll get to HellBlade in a sec here. Hey, real quick, guys. Remember to hit the like button. And if you haven't subbed already, hit the bell button too, so you can get alerts when we go live and whatnot. Also, check out if you're looking for some more podcasts to listen to. Check out some of the links below in the description section. We've linked some other podcasts that we think you'll like. So, man, the world is going crazy, man. We have North Korea threatening people with missile launches near Guam. We got fanboys acting fucking crazy at Cliffy B and then crying when he throws shade back at them. And I want to talk about this. Yeah, I want to talk about this real quick because Eric, you were involved in a conversation on Twitter today involving fanboys. I just want to say something real quick, too. If you root for the failure of any game because it's on a platform that you don't own or because you're upset because you feel like you made a developer and they owe you a favor, you're a fucking clown and you're not a gamer. You should never, ever root for the demise of a developer or for a game to fail because you know what that does? It hurts the gaming industry. The industry that we love, that I love, that we spend all our not all of our money, but a lot of money on.
A good portion of it.
Yeah. And hey, what's up, Frankie? Frankie, don't worry about the buffering, man. It's because we're in 4K 60. It'll clear up a little bit, man. You might want to turn down your settings, my friend. But I just want to say something, gentlemen. Honestly, I'm fucking tired of this. I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of the crying. I'm tired of the crying. And Eric, I'm not gonna mention the guy's name, but basically what happened was, somebody was basically throwing shade at Cliffy, and hold on a sec here. I need to pull this up because I want everyone to get the kind of I guess the full effect, if you will, of what was actually said. And Eric, I believe you were blocked eventually.
Oh yeah. It came, and for much of nothing. And shout out to certain guys on Twitter. Want to put people's names out there. I don't want to put people in anything, but they kind of saw how it unfolded, and it wasn't even that big a deal. Like even at this point, I'm like, it's not that big a deal. I don't even understand why dudes have to block if you kind of pull their card a little bit. And I wasn't even trying to pull his card. It just looked odd when he basically kind of went out there and said something that Cliffy said back to him. And I'm like, okay, but what did you say to provoke it?
The problem is they block because they're fucking weak-minded people. They're weak, and they're weak because they throw shade out there, and they think because they're behind a keyboard that they're safe, right? Oh, no one's going to say anything to me. This is the internet. This is Twitter. People, you can still be held accountable for your actions, even on things like social media. You throw shade out there, people are going to throw shade back at you. That's just the way the world works. And we know about Cliffy B. Cliffy doesn't tell people, like, it's not like, and we talked about this in the beginning of the podcast or before we went live. It's not like, you know, this person went up to Cliffy B and said, "Hey, Cliffy, you know, when is Lawbreakers coming on the Xbox One?" And he said, "Eat a bag of dick," or "Eat a bag of dicks," you know?
Right.
You know, it's not like it's not even how it went down. But I just want to. So Cliffy B basically tweeted out 1 month until release. Fuck. Hope you folks like it at Lawbreakers. And this fucking clown tweets back, "Nope, not buying a different console to play it. You shun the platform that made you. Enjoy the check."
Right. And I want to say for context, the only thing I asked dude was, you know, well, where was the part that you actually asked him when it was coming to Xbox? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I was waiting. It's like, I haven't seen where you actually asked him that question for him to give you that response. I do see where he would give you that response. I'm seeing that part of it. So.
But, I mean, like, seriously, like, first of all, you're being a dick. Second of all, you're being a clown, because that's just a clown thing to say. You know?
Right.
You're upset because you feel like he shunned the platform. Do you not fucking understand that that was a business decision that he had to make? That his studio isn't funded by EA or Microsoft or Sony. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all know that Cliffy lives in a nice house, has a hot wife, drives a Lambo. We get that. But he doesn't have unlimited resources either.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so I think someone else responded from his studio. And I guess the guy who had initially had called Cliffy B out said, "Doesn't help the fact that it's not coming to a large group of people due to a payoff not supporting." And that's when Cliffy B was like, "Hey, eat a bag of dicks."
Right.
And this guy fucking cried. He cried about this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Cliffy B said to me, he told me to eat a bag of dicks. Oh my God, this is terrible. And he left out one important fact that he threw shade at Cliffy B.
And let's be frank, Cliffy's response really wasn't like the most crucial or most harsh response that somebody can give to someone. He basically, for all intents and purposes, he told him to kick rocks. Like, later, man.
Yeah, just told him buzz off, man.
Right.
You got time for your nonsense.
Right. And the main reason I kind of went there, usually I just kind of see that stuff and I'll leave it alone. The only reason I kind of went there because, you know, regardless of what platform he decided to put this game on, for one, he never said that it couldn't come to Xbox. You know, he said it may take some time. He has to kind of see how things go. He has a small team. Boom. People don't understand, you know, how like that side of the game development works. I'm not a game developer, but I understand money. I understand you got to pay platform fees and things like that. All these things, you know, take resources. But more importantly, I said, I'm not here to defend Cliffy B. He's completely capable of doing that. But I understand what it's like to be a creator as a designer and photographer, and you hand something over to somebody for critique. You know, you put your life into it, you put your heart into it, you hand it over for critique. It's not an easy thing to do. So for him to say, "Oh man, we're about to ship. Here we go." You know, most of us don't even understand what kind of pressure that is when you have a whole team of people depending on you in this game for their livelihood. You know, we sit back and we reap the rewards of their hard labor and their hard work, but we don't know what it took to make that. You know, the endless nights of overtime, you know, not seeing your family, not being around the people that you care about, you know, putting everything you have into this, putting it out there for people to try it and play it, and we can just sit back and be super dismissive because of a platform. And secondly, I look at what Cliffy has given versus what he's doing. Now, he's doing this thing now, but Cliffy owes me nothing to put it on, you know, Xbox at this time where, and I get it, people want to play it. I understand that. But you don't have to come at the dude and be like, "Well, you shunned us, you know, or we're forgotten." You're not forgotten. Dude, get over yourself. It's a platform. It's a console. If you really want this game, you know,
you would hope it does well.
Exactly.
And not try to shit on it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, if you wanted to come to your platform and it's not currently there, guess what? If it doesn't sell well, it probably isn't going to come to your platform.
Right.
Because the publisher isn't going to put up the money to publish it on another platform for it to sit there and do nothing again.
Exactly.
So it makes absolutely no sense for someone to shit on a game because it's not on their platform.
Exactly. And it's like, and you're in your feelings and you're sitting there taking it personal. And here's the funny part. You know, I think I told somebody this on Twitter in the back and forth. I said, for all the back and forth that Xbox and the shade that Xbox guys are throwing at him, you know, and saying that he's a traitor and everything else like this, in the business sense of that, he's taking all that, roll it off, and if he can bring it to Xbox, guess what he's going to do? Bring it to Xbox.
Exactly.
Because it's business. It's not personal.
Yeah, but you know, Eric, and then the sad part is you see these fucking idiots out there who are hoping it fails. I've seen tweets like, "Oh, it's karma. Karma's a bitch."
I don't know how that's karma.
Terrible. I'm like, seriously, like, you're a grown fucking man. You're acting like a clown or a fucking video game?
Right.
Are you serious? This is fucking video games. It's a fucking piece of plastic.
Yeah.
This isn't life or death.
It really isn't.
It's so. And, by the way, the dude 79. What's up, the dude? The dude actually said something in the live chat. He said, one thing that really irks me is that these cretins are the vocal minority that non-gamers will use to define gamers in general. Mean-spirited, immature assholes. And he's right.
Right on the money.
He's right. Because the people who don't know any better are going to assume, oh, look at these fucking nerds. Look at those gamers. These guys don't get laid. They drink Mountain Dew, eat Doritos, eat Doritos and fucking cry about video games. And they're grown men. They probably live in the basements of their mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stereotype.
Yeah. And I think I had one of these dudes say to me, you know, try to bring up, you know, as a lot of these guys do, they try to bring up 2013 stuff, or they'll bring up Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, you know, you don't think PS4 gamers felt shunned? Like, you didn't feel shunned when Rise of the Tomb Raider had to wait a year to go to PS4? I was like, no, because I bought it day one on Xbox One. I played it. I said, if there was any Sony fanboy who's in their feelings about it, they get the same smoke. You know, don't be in your feelings about this. You can be upset. You can be vocal about it and say, look, I would wish I had my hands on this game. But I'm not going to sit there and like throw shade at people or be upset to the point where it's like I'm hoping that they fail or saying that it's karma. You don't know how karma works if that's the point, if that's the thing. And for God's sake, some of these dudes need to learn what opinion really means. Opinion doesn't mean that you get to say whatever the hell you want, throw it out there. You know, learn the difference between statements and opinions.
Yeah, learn how to take one on the chin if you're going to throw shade out there too.
That's the other thing.
Don't go crying if you say something and you're being an asshole and someone comes back at you. Don't do that.
Call you out on that, man.
Yeah. You know, that's the funny thing. It's like they can throw shade all day from behind the keyboard, and the minute you say something back, and not even like in a mean or nasty way, just simply ask a question like, hey, you're saying this, show me. I didn't even ask him to show me the proof. He said he had proof. That's the funny part. And that was enough, you know, glass chin, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, anyway. I don't know. B, do you have anything else to say on this before we move on to our next topic?
Nah, man, I've been talking about this for a while. You know what I mean? The disrespect that most of these clowns have to game developers, whether it be Cliffy B or any other game that's, you know, not on your particular platform. We saw this with Tomb Raider. You know what I mean? They basically ran Rihanna Pratchett out of there. You know what I mean? The PlayStation guys did when Tomb Raider wasn't coming to PlayStation. It was exclusive to Xbox for a year. You know what I mean? You know, the nonsense has to stop. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's all about gaming. If you know, if you're a particular fan of that game, it's cool to be vocal about it. You know what I mean? Express your opinion. Say, you know, that you would much rather have the game be released on both platforms or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? But try to support the game as best you can. You know what I mean? Talk to people who are actually playing the game. You know, be a gamer. You know what I mean? Be part of the conversation, not, you know what I mean, some of the negative stuff that we see these days. Right.
And I want to shout it, not to embarrass my boy Chicken here in the chat, but Chicken has a good outlook on stuff, man. Like, Tacoma had an issue. I don't even know, Chicken, say if they fixed it or not, but Tacoma had an issue that people were running into Xbox with the game starting.
Yes.
You know, you couldn't get it past the A button prompt to get the game going.
Yep.
And that's an easy situation for somebody to start throwing situations around, you know, talking down on the developer, talking down on Microsoft, and the case may be. And Chicken was just like, and I saw this example, he's like, I'll be patient, I'll wait. It'll come around. They'll fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you got a ton of stuff to play. And another thing I saw when these dudes throw out, Lawbreakers would have done much better on Xbox. You have no way of knowing that.
Jackasses don't buy the games on Xbox as it is.
Exactly.
Anybody buy Sunset Overdrive? Barely. Mm-hmm. Anybody buy Quantum Break? Barely. You know what I mean? Anybody buy Recore? Barely. That's what they're talking about Lawbreakers for. They ain't buying games as it is.
What about Tacoma?
Barely.
I didn't see anybody talking about Tacoma.
I've only seen like five people talk about Tacoma on Xbox. Real talk.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think 3 of them were ran.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Well, we had Randall Thor. Big shout out to Randall Thor 19. We had Randall Thor on last week, and he even said the same thing. He's like, no one's talking about. He's like, everyone's talking about Resolution. No one's talking about Tacoma. And it just came out.
Yeah, nobody was talking about it. I saw Chicken. I saw Rand talking about it. I saw a few other people, but really nobody's talking about it.
No. And HGK, that's a great point. It would also do better on Xbox. And if it can get there, but we're talking more in the terms of people, their attitude towards it. Like, you can be upset and you can be vocal and say, man, Cliffy, I love your games and I really wish I would, I really can't wait to play Lawbreakers. It sucks that it can't, whatever the case may be. You can be vocal, but you don't have to be like a dick or be nasty about it.
Well, Eric, because that's a normal response. Like, that's a normal mature response. Hey, Cliffy, man, it sucks. I was really looking forward to this game. It sucks it's not coming to Xbox. Man, I hope it makes its way to the Xbox one day.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it. That's like the normal thing to say.
Right. And yeah, and I saw a lot of that today. Like, the whole thing kind of started with people kind of throwing shade with the information coming out that on Steam, at least, Lawbreakers, their numbers are down, and they're down lower than Battleborn. Right. And then it became immediately this thing of, here, like, look at, karma and the game's going to flop and it would have done better on Xbox and XYZ, whatever you want to say. But, the thing people have to think about too is, Battleborn went up against Overwatch, which in a lot of ways, Lawbreakers is kind of in that same vein. But you kind of have to look at the numbers in general, where Battleborn launched on pretty much every platform, right?
Yep.
Where this game is launching on PC and PS4, which do have big install bases, of course, but that's kind of a different thing when you look at the numbers of that.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the DM, and like you said, a game like this is something that can build over time. It may not hit out the gate like immediately, but over time, it can find that audience and find that footing as long as they keep, doing their thing with it. But the fact of the matter is, I don't understand why anybody would be like celebrating what they deem to be a failure.
Yeah, I don't get that either, and that's why I say you can't call yourself a gamer if you wish or you hope and champion games failing because you have some sick kind of fucking obsession with a piece of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, gentlemen. Let's move on to our next topic of the evening, and let's talk about HellBlade because this game just came out this week, and Chicken Spaghetti has already said it's PlayStation 4's, game of the generation. That gentleman is a pretty big statement, considering some of the great exclusives that have come to that console so far, especially this year. We look at Horizon Zero Dawn. We look at Nier Automata,
Persona 5.
What was the other one? Not HellBlade. What was the Team Ninja game?
Oh, Neo.
Neo, thank you. Yeah. So, there's been some really good games that have come out on the PlayStation 4. So that's big. Now, I have not played the game yet. Full disclosure, I have not played the game. Eric, I know you've played it. B-Money, did you pick it up?
Of course, man. It's my most anticipated game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
All year long.
Yeah, I'm right there with the. I'm a Ninja Theory fan. Like, I love all their games pretty much.
Yeah, man.
So the minute HellBlade was like announced that they were working on this, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to get your impressions. I have not played the game, but I did see. I did watch a couple playthroughs. John actually did something for SDGC last night. Jack Move Johnny, we've had on the show. He did a live stream. He did like a 7-hour live stream and finished the game.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I noticed about the game it looks, first of all, it looks great. And what really gets me excited is that there's been a lot of positive feedback. Reviews have been very positive for this game. And we know Ninja Theory's take on this game was they wanted to create a AAA experience at half the price for a gamer, right? Giving you about 7 or 8 hours of gameplay at $30 an hour. And I think that's fantastic. I think that could be, if this game does well, I think that could be something that maybe other developers start copycatting.
Yeah.
When they think about, making AAA titles. I mean, I think this potentially shows that, you don't have to make these big budget AAA titles for them to be good. You can still have those AAA production values, and offer maybe a shorter experience that gamers are going to enjoy as much at half the price. And I think that's great. I think that's just fantastic, and I'm excited for it. I hope this game does well, and I'm glad to see that there's a lot of positive buzz about it. The one thing I noticed immediately when I was watching the game too, outside of the visuals, were the voices. So I want to kind of get your thoughts on this, Eric, and then B Money as well. What are you guys' impressions of the game so far, from what you guys have played?
It's delivering on everything that I thought this game would deliver on. It's hands down some of the best sound work I've ever heard in a game. And you see in the chat, you see people say on Twitter, hands down, you have to play this with headphones on or like a really good surround system. Because a lot of the game, for it to be somewhat of a linear game, they do a really good job of not really holding your hand. There's no HUD on the screen. There's no, there's like some visual cues you have to watch, but most of it is the art, like the voices in her head talking to her to kind of let you know like what's going on, especially when you're fighting enemies or when you're like trying to, navigate through like an area or whatever. But it's intense, man. It's just, you really almost immediately just start to like connect with this character and care for her. Which some games you play, you can put like, 40, 50 hours into and still don't really feel that connection.
Hey, let me ask you something. Are the voices overkill though? Like, do they kind of distract from the game at all? Or is it?
No, okay. Not at all. No, because it makes sense for the proceedings and what's going on. But you find yourself like, honestly, like, yeah, you're listening to the voices in your head for what you need to do. Like if an enemy's coming up behind you, you're like, the voices are kind of warning you like behind you. And literally on cue, if you block the right way or you evade the right way, you get yourself out of danger, out of being cornered. And it's just really trippy, man. And then the whole time the voices just kind of going back and forth and talking, and there's different voices, and you're like, did I hear that voice before?
By the way, Eric, I don't mean to interrupt, but the dude just brought this up in live chat, and I want to bring this up because
yeah, I just read what he said.
Yeah, he said the voices are constantly berating her as well, and when you're wearing headphones, it seriously impacts you like it does her. I mean, I can't even wrap my mind around that. I mean, talk about the kind of level of or the kind of immersion that I mean, I don't think I've ever experienced in the game. If that's how it impacts you as a gamer, listening to these voices and it kind of like having that kind of impact on you, that's just that's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a very different game from like past games that Ninja Theory has done. I mean, you see their pedigree. They've done for a long time some of the best facial animation around, and best mocap work around. Outside of something like Naughty Dog or whatever the case may be. But it's just like the expressions in her face, just the emotion that she's like dealing with when she's like, the voices are like really like they're saying like are berating her or telling her what to do. It's just an experience. And I'll defer to B. I'll let B get in there.
No, I don't know if I want to play this game.
Nah, man, you got to play.
You have to, man.
He said the voices scared the shit out of him. I don't do scary. You guys know this.
Look,
but no, but it's not.
It's not a horror scary. It's not a horror scary, but it definitely has an impact on your mind, especially if you wear headphones. If you crank up the volume a little bit, you know what I mean? Really immerse yourself into the game. You know what I mean? The voices start to take over. You know what I mean? You really feel that impact, you know, as you're walking through the world, and you know, there's different things like, you know, don't go there, it's dangerous, you know what I mean? Or, you know, don't open a gate, you know, go back, run away, you know, like, and there's so many different voices, you know, speaking to you at one time. It's such an amazing experience. You know, just from as soon as you roll the boat, or, you know, the little log, and you step off the log and she kicks the log back, and, you know, just the expression she has on her face, like when she first turns around, you know what I mean? It sets the tone for everything.
Yeah.
And you know, you start walking into the world, and, you know, you walk across like this first bridge, and like the first bridge, I didn't realize that, or like the long log or whatever, like that I was, you know, could actually fall off of it. You know what I mean? You really have to pay attention to your balance and stuff. So the first time I fell off, I'm like, oh shit, I need to pay attention to what I'm doing, and really take my time. But the game is super immersive. You know what I mean? I felt like the first two like bosses that you have to fight were varied enough. You know what I mean? And
yeah, very much so.
Yeah, you know, because you get to this crossroad where you have to fight with these two bosses before you can open up the next door, and you know, you have to put together a lot of these little puzzles, you know, throughout the world, and find these different symbols and things like that. But you know, the bosses, you know, felt really nice playing it. You know, it's traditional, you know what I mean, Ninja Theory combat. But everything so far has been amazing. It's lived up to everything I thought it would be and more. You know what I mean? This is a game I've been talking about for 2 years now. I've been supporting Ninja Theory on their forums, everything since they announced the game. I rocked my T-shirt yesterday. You know what I mean? My Cinema T-shirt. You know what I mean? So full support for them, and I think I'm about halfway done. About 60% of the trophies unlocked.
Nice.
But it's an amazing game, and I'm gonna try to knock it out either today or tomorrow. But if you haven't, definitely go spend the $30, pick up HellBlade, whether it's on PS4 or PC, and definitely get in there, man. Because I want to be able to talk to a lot more people about this and have some really good conversations about what they explored in this game, and if we'll see more things like this.
Yeah, it would almost be nice to have like a spoiler cast in a couple of weeks, like if more people are going to pick it up and play it, and, you know, we can you know, kind of have some discussion about it. But it's a trip, man. Like B said, like how the voices kind of handle you. Like even when you're like close to death, like you're kind of like she's gonna die, you know, and it's like they're whispering to each other, and, you know, and it's just like you're like, oh my god. Or even like we said, there's no HUD, there's no boss HUD, or I should say HUD, like a meter to let you know like how the fight's going or anything like that. It's just the voices are kind of telling you, and you do get hit points that build up there's like a focus in the game. And if you really listen, I'm telling you, you start listening to the voices and you listen to their cues, like they keep you out of trouble. You know, like telling you like focus now and stuff like that. It's crazy how they kind of came up with this, you know, this type of mechanic. And I kind of just say. They could have easily charged $60 for this.
Yeah, they could.
Because there's other like AAA like games that don't give you this much. I don't even want to say from a content standpoint. I want to say they don't give you this much of an experience in their $60, and even in their 80, 90 hours. You know, so this is a very good experiment that I really hope not just like fans are looking at, but I hope the industry is looking at. Like don't throw away single player experiences. Like there's a way. You just have to rethink how you want to deliver them.
That's a great point, E, because I know we've heard there's been a lot of conversation around you know, games as services, right? But the issue with games as services, I mean, not that they're fun, not that they're not enjoyable or entertaining, but they potentially don't offer the kind of level of immersion that we have with a game like this.
Right.
the dude in the live chat actually said, he actually says this. He said this isn't a game for everyone. It's not a feel good game, at least not up to the point where I'm at. But when the combat kicks in, you feel for her. You feel her struggle, and you don't want her to fail. Incredible.
Make no mistake, she's a warrior. Like, she's a fighter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's like, with some of these multiplayer games or these games of services, I mean, I don't feel like we have that level of immersion or that emotional attachment to a character to feel things that for a character or for maybe the world that we're exploring and that we're in. I don't feel like we have that escape per se that we have in these single player games. Like I'm playing Edith Finch right now, right? And
great game.
Just another great game.
And I'm just like, immediately when I turn on the game, I got into it, and I'm walking to the house. I mean, I was already immersed in the world, and my mind was running wild, and I was like, my imagination was running, and it was just like, to me, like, that's what gaming's about. It in part it's about hopping on a party chat with your friends and going to blow shit up. Yeah, that's fun, right? But there's nothing really immersive about that. Right. So I really want to see a game like this kind of maybe be the standard, and other developers follow suit and focus on making games like this, especially at $30. I mean, hell, that's yeah. I mean, you guys are talking about this game the way I heard you guys talk about like Resident Evil 7 or Horizon Zero Dawn, or The Last of Us. When that came out.
And what's funny, like, however people feel about The Last of Us, the one thing I think everybody can maybe possibly agree on with The Last of Us is
that open cinematic.
The feels, like what it does to you on an emotional level.
Yeah.
The experience. And I think this game has that same level of like emotion and kind of how you're like dealing with things. And the other crazy part is, like, I'm a big fan of like Greek mythology and Norse mythology. And if you're going around and you're really like kind of exploring the areas and you're finding the runes and stuff, there's like a lot of rich like Norse mythology like to learn.
Yeah.
And to hear like through the narrations and things like that. So and then actually I also don't want to glance over this. I have not watched a lot of them because I kind of went on blackout. Like, I didn't want to know too much. I didn't want to know a whole lot, but I knew once I played this game, I was going to go back and do it. The chicken kind of mentioned it in the chat. B said this is something that both Microsoft and Sony could learn from if you want to really promote a game, and that's developer diaries.
Yeah.
Like, Ninja Theory's been like putting that, like doing these like the developer diaries and different trailers and different things, like cataloging this game from kind of like the inception to the delivery point. And so I'm like really looking forward to going back now and watching like a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't mean to laugh. I just read something that the dude said on the live chat. He said the opening of The Last of Us hit me hard as hell because I had just become a father a few months prior. I love when games aren't afraid to hit on tough themes.
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about, man.
Yeah, and I laughed. And I laughed because I thought to myself, does PUBG hit on tough themes?
No, I haven't played it, so I don't know. But I would imagine it's probably not deep in narration story. Dude, the beginning of The Last of Us, you could sit someone down who does not play games and just have them watch you go through that segment, and they probably walk away like, "Wow,
yeah,
that was some deep stuff."
Yeah.
And again, like the other day when HellBlade launched, I was seeing, like some people on Twitter, like I think Chicken was one of them. I saw a couple other people. I've listened to a couple of podcasts about it. And people who have dealt with this kind of, like with psychosis or depression or things, living inside your own head, this has to resonate, like in a major way.
No, I'm sure it does.
And Ninja Theory has not been, coy about the fact that they really consulted with, doctors and people who do studies on this kind of thing to get the tone of it down, like right. What people who deal with these kinds of things go through. And and even the mythology of it, So all of it plays into each other, man. Like the setting, her as a character, and yeah, it's an experience, man. These are kind of, like you said, these are the kind of experiences that, you know, a lot of us game for.
Yeah. B, what were you saying? Or you said something about you. This is what you've been trying to say for a long time now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always felt like, you know, a lot of the gaming or a lot of the games that we get, you know, they're pretty safe. You know what I mean? They're the typical run and gun shooter or racing games, or, you know, we get the sports games. And not too many narrative games are, you know, willing to take risk and talk about, you know, tough themes or explore tough themes. I thought when Mafia 3, you know, was coming out, and you know, they were really talking about how, you know, this was supposed to be, you know, African American gangster, you know what I mean, coming up and New Orleans. And then, like, we come to find out that he's not really African American. You know what I mean? He's Dominican, and he's, you know, white. But they try to use those same themes of, you know, him going through the struggle, you know, going through the military, and things like that. So I always felt like gaming should be willing to take on, you know, tougher themes and be able to explore that, because I think that's the most powerful part about gaming. Like, this game is really going to touch people. You know what I mean? What Last of Us did really could have touched someone. You know what I mean? So when you explore tough things, it brings out a lot more conversation, because a lot more people are willing to talk about it. And it becomes deeper than gaming.
Right.
That's a great point, B. And that's to me, that's why I game, because it's entertainment and it's escapism. You know, and it's just like we watch movies. It's kind of a way to. I mean, some of the movies that we enjoy the most are movies that we have some kind of, you know, connection to, or we you know, or we become immersed or attached, or feel for a character. You know, and this isn't just video games, movies. We see it in books, music at times, art, and gaming is all those things. You know, it's art. So, I mean, yeah, this is I honestly, guys, I'm just really excited. I'm really glad this game turned out well. Outside of Jim Sterling's 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I didn't even look into that. I'm not sure what you said. He had a game-breaking bug or something like that, right?
Yeah, there was something that happened in the game where he couldn't turn back, and he basically had to start all over. And he got upset, and I understand. It was a, excuse me, it was a bug that I think I haven't. He's the only person that I've read so far who's had that bug. But it was enough for him to get angry and give it a 1 out of 10. And he did put it on Metacritic, but he's actually since taken he has since taken his review off Metacritic.
Okay. Well, I want to touch on that tone of, like you said, starting over, because we did see earlier in the week the information that came out about, like, the permadeath. And I'm kind of like, I won't say two minds about it, but it's interesting. It was a narrative that kind of, you know, people kind of ran with before we got too deep. And I know I was a little guilty of it. Like, I put a poll out, but I kind of put the poll out because I didn't mind the whole idea of the permadeath like thing. But it's kind of too bad that it kind of got blown up, because I think what Ninja Theory was trying to do is put that sense of anxiety in there. And it kind of got blown up. Like, it's, some people said it was a hoax. You know, some people said, or a goof. And I don't think it was. I think they were intentionally trying to give you the sense of dread, that sense of anxiety that Senwa would feel, you know, in the game. Like, moving forward through it. You know, think about how tense, if you really felt that was going to be the case, how tense you would feel. But I think it kind of blew up to more of a thing where it was like, oh, it'll completely delete your save and the whole nine and everything else. I think what Ninja Theory could do, or should possibly do, is add a mode where that's possible still. Yeah. You know, like add a difficulty setting to where you can play where there's a permadeath. I don't know about deleting your file, you know, but, you know, you can still feel that sense of dread if you're playing this game and you think, every time I die, or I'm about to start over again.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I think that blew up pretty quick.
I was good if it was, you know, if that permadeath was a feature. you know, I'm good with it either way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, you know, like you said, would have brought, you know, more anxiety to the situation. People would have been more on their toes. You know, I mean, would have thought about things a little bit differently. Especially in the combat, you know, it reminds me a lot of, you know, like old school hack and slash games, or even some of like the early Dark Souls stuff. You know, you don't want to get cornered. You have to be smart about when you select to attack the, you know, opponent or whatever. You know, if there's multiples, maybe you want to, you know, square up so you can fight one of them at a time, or you know what I mean, evade and block at the right times. So I mean, I think if the permadeath was there, you know, people would think about things a little bit differently, and strategy would be a little bit differently.
That's a good point.
No, but no, I don't know. Again, I think, you know, kudos to Ninja Theory for kind of rethinking how they wanted to go about delivering this game. You know, download only. I know some people are upset about that. Some people like to have their physical copy. But if it's a way for them to deliver a AAA type experience for like half the cost, I'm kind of all for that. And again, you know, I give them props, you know, for doing that.
Yeah,
their own development, own publishing. You know what I mean? That's very rare.
Yeah,
to see these days. You know what I mean? Own development, own publishing, and they release a game for $30. Yes, it's download only, but I mean, you're paying half the price of what you would if you went to the store. So,
and it kind of opens them up too, where like, you know, if this does well and this model works for them, you know, they could take that same idea that something like a Destiny has, where it just keeps like updating.
Yeah.
You know, and they add like new DLC that does it. They could kind of do the same thing with this type of world, this type of model. You know, you can have a completely different story in the same world, or find out other things. It can branch off. It can, you know, it can be different things, and they can keep delivering it that way. You know,
this is true, Eric.
Yeah. They could, they could even revisit some of their other properties that may not have been played by enough people. Like, because they have very interesting worlds in like Heavenly Sword and Enslaved.
Maybe a sequel to Heavenly Sword. That'd be nice.
I mean, because I think when HellBlade was announced, people thought that was almost in the same world.
I did, because don't you remember Heavenly Sword? Like, I think it was a sister or like just her friend or whatever.
Yeah.
Like she always popped up at like the weirdest times, and she always, I don't know, she just seemed like she was a little out there.
Yep.
Like, you know, I wonder if they use that, you know, character as far as like the profile of the character to build this game.
Could be, because it was very reminiscent of that when they first announced HellBlade.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be all for them like revisiting or doing their next thing. I mean, they're completely capable developers. You know, there's certain developers that you're just a fan of, and you just get excited when you hear that they're working on a new project and bringing something new.
Yep.
You know, again, props to them for sticking with what they like to do, and that's single player story experiences. Because they could have easily tried to become a multiplayer type, you know, development house.
Yeah, it's
and kind of try to go down that path, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Games and services, man. That's the future of gaming.
Yeah. So bottom line, play HellBlade. Play HellBlade.
So you guys are saying you like it.
We like it. We like it.
Yeah. I need to man up and get this game. You know how I get though with games.
No, it's not like that, man. You rock out Resident Evil 7, you can play HellBlade, you'll be fine.
Resident Evil 7 was a little strange. A little odd at times. But anyhow, so great game. Sounds like everyone should go check it out if they can. $30. You know, support a great game. If you're on the fence, read the reviews. Reviews have been positive. I think I was trending in the 80s Metacritic, maybe 81 Metacritic, I think. So that's usually indicative of a good game. So check it out. J Street says, I'm going to buy it eventually. Yeah, do it, man. $30. All right, gentlemen, let's get to the next topic here of the evening. Something that B Money and I talked about in DM. Sony Crossplay. Now, I'm on the side that that thinks Sony should allow crossplay. And B Money, you're on the side that doesn't think they should allow it, right?
Well, I don't think that it should. I wouldn't say I don't think that it should allow it. I just feel like they don't have to. When you win and you ain't got to do what everybody else doing. You can always do your own thing.
Yes.
I mean, how many times I can't talk. How many times people have to say? I mean, it was the reverse situation last generation.
Yeah, man. Sony reached out a bunch of times last gen.
I
They
remember.
wanted to do crossplay. Where was Microsoft at then?
Yep.
And I look, so B and I were talking in the DM, and we had a little bit of dialogue back and forth about this, and he told me to eat a bag of dicks because I didn't agree with him. So so I look, B, I totally understand like the business conversation, and you're right. When you're the market leader, you really don't have to do anything, you know. And what I was saying was that I think from a consumer standpoint, it would be very consumer friendly for them to do that. And I also think that potentially if this thing takes off, now maybe, you know, you're putting yourself in a position where the competition is kind of the market leader, if you will, in that crossplay feature, you know, and now people are, you know, going to play games like Destiny now more, or other multiplayer games because of crossplay, because they can play with maybe their friends who don't have an Xbox One. You know, they have a PC. You know, that now they've kind of opened up the pool, and really just an option to gamers. I mean, I don't. Again, I understand the you know, the business aspect of this, that they don't have to do it because they are the market leader. But don't you think there's? I mean, I'm not going to say there's a huge demand for this, but and B, since we're talking about this, I mean, I'll ask you. I mean, don't you think that there's certainly some demand for this feature?
I mean, I think there's probably some demand, but I've never gotten on like Madden or 2K or Call of Duty or Battlefield or any big multiplayer game and not have anybody to play with. So everybody who's like, oh, crossplay, it makes a bigger pool of people to play with. There's a big pool of people to play with as there is now. So, I mean, widening up that pool really doesn't do anything for you at the end of the day, because unless you get on a game and you got to sit there for 20 minutes to search for somebody to play with, why do you need a bigger pool to play with? Battlefield 1, I think they sold over 10 million copies.
Yeah, they did.
So, you know what I mean? Call of Duty sells over, what, 25, 30 million copies every year? How many more people you need to play with?
Yeah. No, and I understand that point. My point when we were chatting about this was for me, it's just an option, you know, just giving gamers an option, you know, to have this feature, you know, and I'm a big believer in options, you know, and giving consumers different options to experience games in different ways. You know, I don't necessarily think that you know, that's a bad thing. I mean, obviously, I know it's not going to benefit everyone, but I always think it's a nice option. And I have heard the argument that this would be something that game developers would favor, because it would open up a greater pool of gamers who would buy, like, say, a Destiny or a Titanfall, but maybe they pass because, or maybe, you know, maybe some gamers pass on these games because they don't own the systems their friends do. And then therefore, you know, maybe there could be more copies sold because now someone's more inclined to say, hey, you know what? None of my friends own an Xbox and are going to be playing Destiny on Xbox. But you know what? Now I can go and you know, buy Destiny for the Xbox because my buddies are playing on a PC and we can all play together now. You know? Yeah, and I know that's not always the case. I know that there's probably maybe a small user base, but I have heard that argument too, that third parties would be open to that idea, would probably like it because it could potentially more sales for their games.
So are the third parties going to host their own servers?
That'd be up to the third parties.
See,
probably not.
That's the question.
Exactly.
Thank you. That's the question I had. And that's the one thing that the fanboys don't think about. We want it, that would benefit them. But if I'm sitting there and my, you know, in the high rise in my office. I'm like, okay, so who benefits from this? Who's hosting? Who's logging into who's, someone has to do that.
Now, this is a big difference when you look at games. We'll just take Final Fantasy 14, for example.
Yeah.
One of the biggest MMOs out there. That game is hosted on Square Enix servers. It's not hosted on PlayStation servers. It's not hosted on, some PC server. It's hosted on Square Enix server. You have to sign into Square Enix before you can hop in to play that game. On PS3, when Final Fantasy 14 came out, you did not need PlayStation Plus. All you needed was internet connection, sign into Square Enix servers. You can play with anybody who owns the game, whether on PlayStation or on PC. So if developers are going to host their own servers, fine. Go ahead. You can have all the crossplay you want to because you're the one who's hosting the server.
Well, that would be that would probably work. I mean, because Activision's hosting their own servers, right?
Activision don't host their own servers.
I thought they did. They're not hosting their own servers.
No.
Okay. But you have to
even on EA on Battlefield. If you want your own server, you got to pay for it. So you still have to log in to EA servers, but if you want your own server, you have to pay for your own server.
You have to pay for it. Yeah, I actually used to do that with Battlefield. I used to actually rent out a server, I think, for like a month. And we used to do it just because we could play you can customize different game types and whatnot. But I used to do that.
Yeah.
So like I just said, Xbox is hosting for Microsoft, and for Minecraft, and for Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Sony's like, well, so they're going to host, but they need people to log into live for this to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sony's like, no. That's like Apple saying, the Android, hey, or Android saying, hey, we need you to hand over some of your codecs. Or we want to get iMessage on our platform. I'm sure they could maybe work that out, but that's exclusive to them. They're not going to be looking for people to sign into that and do this and that,
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I think the idea of crossplay is interesting. We're seeing it with PC and Xbox, and I wonder if it's going to have. I just wonder too if we get to a point where it will be across all platforms in the future, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. Only we ever get there is if third parties want to put up the money and host their own servers. That's the only way you will get there, ever. And I've wanted this for forever, just for Madden tournaments, and I play 2K every single year. So it would be amazing because a lot of the big YouTubers and a lot of people play 2K on PlayStation. I usually buy it on both platforms, but a lot of my original homeboys, we played on Xbox because that's who I grew up playing it with. But there's a lot of people on PlayStation that play it as well. It would be nice to put all of us in one pool. And when you go to different tournaments, you don't have to switch up different controllers or whatever. You can play with the controller that you're used to and just play it across the server. But until that day comes where third parties are like, all right, we're hosting on our own servers, so everybody can play crossplay, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And the reason that they don't is because the server maintenance costs so damn much.
And that's just it, man. I don't think anybody on our level is against the idea of crossplay. But this whole notion that the thing that starts to get on my nerve is when people try to sell it back to the fans and stoke the fire. Oh, well, we're ready to roll on it, but so and so's being a dick about it so many words. Making it sound like oh, we just flipped the switch and we're ready to roll. I mean,
Sony's reasonings why they're not doing it are kind of lame, if you ask me.
But they can make up any reason they want to, though. That's the thing.
And you're with us, $50 don't have to share.
You can say whatever.
Right. I mean, no, I get that. I just think it's. I mean,
all right. Let's talk anti-consumer, right? Because here's the thing: people are going in on this thing, and believe me, I know people I'll talk out about this, but people are going in on this thing like Sony's being majorly anti-consumer, and I'm not going to argue that they are, but like B said, they don't have to do anything other. Apple changed the headphone jack completely on their phone, right? And basically said, you can deal with it or you can kick rocks. and gave you some BS answer as to why they were doing it. Well, we're seeing this and this. No, it benefits them because they can sell you their weird proprietary headphones, right? But did that stop people from going out? You lined your ass right up down there and picked up that new iPhone.
Everybody was in line with the Starbucks cup, getting a new iPhone.
It's bullshit, man. Bullshit, man. Let me get that. Let me get that plus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's it's funny. It's I saw a lot of people complain, but they were the first ones out there in line.
Right, but I'm saying though, it sucks, but that's kind of how it is at times. Like big dogs don't have to share their bone, and it's obviously not hurting Apple enough to where they're going to change it. Now, I mean, enough people haven't walked away from it. I'm using Apple as an example, but all these companies have their fuckery in place.
Yeah.
I twisted. Microsoft still has their fuckery in place too.
Yeah, they give us dashboard updates every 2 weeks.
You know what I'm saying? But people are like, oh, Sony's the dickhead for doing it. Okay, yeah, crossplay would definitely benefit us. It would be great, but understand the reasons why they may not be jumping to do it. That's not probably also it's not on the top of their agenda.
No, it's probably not. No.
Bottom line is the faster people realize that companies don't give a shit about them, the better off you'll be.
That's the problem. Everybody thinks that everybody's supposed to care about them.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to care about me.
Right. And don't get it twisted. Just because Aaron Greenberg retweeted you does not mean that he's your buddy. I'm just saying, I'm using that as an example because I do see this narrative that is sort of like, well, they care about us. These guys care about us.
No.
When you're playing from behind, you change your strategy.
They care about your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they care about your money.
Honestly, you let 2013 roll the way it was going to roll and everybody accepted and everything was good and they weren't playing from behind.
Mm-hmm.
How much tweeting do you think will be going on?
Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot.
What do you guys want? They'll be like, this is what you guys get. It'd be a whole lot of different stuff. I'm just saying, and then people may think I'm being a hater for saying that. And it's all good that executives tweet and they talk, but, I honestly say too, sometimes you tweet too damn much.
Shut up and do your job. That's all we ask, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go for that mini rant. I'm just saying people need to wake up and stop thinking that it's one-sided being dickheads. They're all dickheads in a way. It's just right now, Microsoft can play the role of a bit of victim, and Sony's playing the role of gargoyle.
Oh man. All right, so this actually wasn't on our topic list. Did you guys see the Steam numbers that came out recently? Steam is adding 1.5 million new users every month.
They steamrolling
For the last 18 months. Holy shit.
So what does that tell you?
That PC
is back.
Yeah, in a big way.
Okay, so let me ask you guys something. So PC gaming is not going anywhere. We know that, right? Clearly, it's a beast. I mean, Steam's adding 1.5 million new users, right, every month for the last 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. They had 27 million first-time purchasers since January 2016. Right, the service currently has around 14 million average peak and current daily users, which is up from 8.4 million from 2015.
Killing it.
Yep.
It's also somewhere around, I think they're around 67 million monthly users. Xbox Live's at 53. PlayStation's at about 70. PSN's at 70, I think. I mean, that's huge. I got to be honest with you guys, and because I'm not a PC gamer, I knew Steam was big. I didn't realize how big this platform was. I mean, look at these numbers.
I'll tell you how big it was. Let's go back to the anti-consumer thing for a minute. How long have people been asking for Half-Life 3?
Oh, you mean
begging?
You mean
where's that through yet, man?
He's like, get off my lawn.
You mean with a Trojan horse, Steam, Half-Life 2?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So,
man, come on.
I mean,
that's crazy numbers, man.
14 million concurrent daily users.
Crazy.
That's insane.
They're not worried about making Maserati payments, huh?
Nah, man, they went and bought the whole lot, man.
You know what I'm saying?
The whole lot, man.
Well, I want to ask you guys something. Man. I want to ask you guys something because we joke around about Half-Life 2 and Portal, and I mean, Valve's not releasing any games anytime soon, right?
I thought he just announced.
Well, yeah, a card game.
Yeah, everybody's got a card game now, right?
Everybody's got a fucking card game these days, right?
It's easy to put together. It's easy, and people.
Yeah. Fable got a card game.
Money.
Yep.
Yeah. Gwent's free right now, I think, on Xbox Live.
But look at there you go again, man. That Hearthstone is what started it.
Yep. Started it all.
Yep.
Yeah. So
shout to Blizzard, man.
Yeah, man.
Getting them checks, man.
Whew. Just be chilling.
Let me ask you guys something. Is Steam's success, or is Steam a I gotta be careful how I word this because I think some people might get upset.
Let's go for it.
Is this the direction Microsoft's heading?
Oh, I know you're gonna ask that, man. You on your own out there now, man.
Wait, so you're just gonna leave me? You know what? We're not gonna answer that question.
Hey, mess with the Xbox fans.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Honestly,
hold on, wait. I'm being serious because think about this. I mean, look at Steam as a service. It's a digital distribution platform, right? I mean, you look at the numbers. Look at the revenue they're driving. I don't have the revenue numbers, but you got to imagine they're fucking printing money, right?
Well, I'm gonna tell you who's looking at the numbers.
Microsoft.
Yeah. No, I absolutely think hands down that this is like the model that they're trying to begin adopting. I've said it before. I don't know how many we said it on here. I think we've said it in our DMs and in chats that we've had. I don't think they're at all concerned about being a console market leader anymore. You know, I think they're kind of like, hey, you know, we'll leave that out there for Sony. They can, and Nintendo, they can kind of do that. We'll get what we can. But I think they're all about live. They're all about services. You know? And you kind of see where their focus has been, you know, in getting their hardware in line and getting that stuff in order. And it hasn't really been on studios and games, like as far as opening new studios or first party AAA exclusives or IP or whatever. They say that's coming, but you know, people say a lot of stuff. But if you know, you look at how some corporations change up their game and what they're doing, I can definitely see them kind of going that path. I mean, you kind of see it too. Like they really don't talk about a lot of their titles because that doesn't seem to be their focal point. But they talk about where they make the money. They talk about controllers.
And real quick, and that's kind of what like I kind of draw parallels sometimes with Steam, kind of Trojan horsing, you know, Steam with Half-Life 2. You know, I mean, obviously, Microsoft didn't really Trojan horse Xbox Live, but they used the popularity of some games to drive people moving into or adopting Xbox Live, right? Games like Halo 2. But you know, Steam really hasn't put out anything really new. We're probably not going to get a Half-Life 3. Their focus is, I mean, we know about the Steam box that didn't work out. And their focus is now more on services or the Steam service as a digital distribution platform. And that's kind of why I just, with some of my own, you know, when I was drawing parallels with Steam and Microsoft and just the focus for Microsoft on, you know, talking about numbers, usage, engagement numbers, that's similar to what Steam does. And I'm not so sure if that would be different if they were the market leader either. Yeah, they may talk about hardware sales, but I think they would still focus on engagement and activity and revenue numbers on Xbox Live. So, and I know it's kind of it's a little bit of a controversial subject, I think, for some people. Look, I'm okay. Like if Microsoft wants Xbox Live or the Xbox brand to be a service, they have every right to. If
Who's
it's profitable, huh?
Who's the controversial for?
Well, certain fanboys, I guess. I don't know.
No, because those with a level head understand. I mean, they say, hey, anybody with a level head can say, look, I rock with Xbox. I fucks with Xbox. That's my preferred platform. I'm gonna keep going with them. And any sensible consumer will rock with something until they start to kind of go, well, this isn't really what I need anymore, or what I want anymore. And I'm not saying that's where we're going with Xbox. I'm just saying that's with anything. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a level-headed consumer, that's the kind of mindset that you keep. You say, right now, okay, they're giving me what I need, they're giving me what I want. But that can change on a dime any day.
Yeah.
But I think the people, like you said, the controversial people are the ones who are in it with their feelings. And it's just like, and I've said this before, anybody who is like constantly like browbeating and constantly trying to tell you you're wrong, or you don't understand, or you don't get it, you don't understand what Phil's saying, and all this other stuff, might be some of the people who, are a little questionable about where it might be going. I'm not afraid of where Microsoft is going, because at the end of the day, I don't have any product in my house that I don't want. And if they get to a point where I'm like, I can't rock with them anymore, guess what? No more Xbox. That's just how it works. I did the same thing. Like, I've been back and forth on phones. Like, I'm a Mac guy. Like, I love Mac products. But right now, they're not giving me what I want. I just picked up a PC, a laptop. Right? I did it with my phones. Like, I was getting pissed. Like, I said, Microsoft, I'm looking at Android phones. I can change my UI. I can do all this user customization stuff. And at the time, Apple's still over here with this bullshit UI with this notebook paper looking notes and all this weird shit, And they weren't really updating and changing and moving in a different direction. So I bounced.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's what you do, yeah. If it doesn't work for you, bounce. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just, don't get in your feelings. People don't get in their feelings about the right things. They get in their feelings and they want to fight other consumers and other fans. But nobody ever wants to take the fight to the executives or, the people who it really matters to. You know what I'm saying?
Difficult, man. That's too difficult.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're told you're wrong, or like you don't get it. And it's like, dude, I get it. Because you know why I get it? And I'll show you my receipts as to why I get it. I have just as much right to say what I want to say as you do.
Yep.
Right.
So, B, what do you think? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you here, but
no, go ahead.
I want to get B's opinion on this. B, what do you think, man?
I mean, I've always thought that they were going to go that route. I thought that, when they announced the X, that it would be a lot similar to the Steam box. I even thought that they would have a grander, marketplace, where they, curate, more indie games and smaller titles and things like that, to where, they could really compete with what Steam was doing as far as, the app on PC. But, you hit the nail on the head. They always talk about their engagement. They talk about their services. They talk about things that they provide to the consumer. And a lot of that has nothing to do with the games, their first party stuff or anything like that. It's a lot to do with the engagement throughout the community. And, it speaks for itself. They're definitely going that route. Sony is starting to head that route, and Nintendo as well, with, releasing some of their stuff on mobile. All these companies are being a lot more open than they would have been, 10 years ago. So, that's something that you have to take notice to. The business model is just moving in a different direction. And we see that with more digital sales. A lot more people are buying things digitally, consuming things digitally. Like Netflix is huge. Streaming services are huge. So, you just have to take notice to where the business is going, and you got to be able to keep up, because otherwise you'll get left behind.
Right.
That's a good point, man. And then you have to wonder, like, what the threat that potentially a service like Steam poses to Microsoft. And the lessons
you
learned.
just talked about the numbers.
Yeah, and the lessons learned from missing the boat with Apple, or not Apple, but with smartphones. 10 years ago. I mean, we for those you may remember, Steve Ballmer basically laughed up the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Said,
And Windows Phone's been struggling ever since.
yeah, but think about that. They missed out big time.
Yeah.
They missed out on that on that mobile revolution. They really did. They were solely focused on PC and Windows on PC. And here comes Google, here comes Apple, and kind of turn things upside down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to believe that they've remembered those lessons of the past, and now they see, like you said, be like the numbers we talked about with Steam. I mean, PC is here to stay. I looked at those numbers and I was just like, wow. I don't think I've seen anyone downplay PC on any gaming forums or Twitter. Maybe that's happened. I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, those are just amazing numbers.
And you got to shout out AMD, man. AMD is making it a lot more popular or possible for gamers to, introduce themselves to PC gaming. A lot of their PC parts are a lot cheaper than what you'll get. If you went with an NVIDIA video card or GPU, and a lot of CPUs and stuff, you can, CPUs drop so often that you can buy one that's a year old or 2 years old and still be able to run current games and have a good time. So you got to look at that too. PC gaming used to be something that was niche. A lot of people are not really jumping into it because it was so expensive and things like that. But
and difficult.
Yep. But there's gaming laptops, there's gaming all-in-one PCs. You can still go out there and build your own PC. So with Steam continuing to release, so many games, a lot of developers feel like that's a platform to release on. It makes it easier for people to jump in and get a taste of gaming.
Yeah, and more you're getting completely capable rigs under $1,800.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, things shift, man. Things change. And one of the thoughts I've always had was they may right now, like with Xbox, Microsoft may not even see Sony as their competition.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Do
you guys think you think they see Valve as their competition?
Definitely. I definitely think.
Yeah.
And you can see Microsoft has become a very different company, right? And Rick, I might have said this to you, but when it comes to Xbox used to almost feel like very separate of Microsoft.
It did very much back in the days. It did. Absolutely.
Right. Doesn't really feel like that anymore.
No. Well, Microsoft has moved to more of a services-based company. It's Windows, it's Microsoft-based products, not just on PC, but anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I just said, I have to feel that maybe at some point, a lot of meetings went on. Like I even think, when it came out to their laptops, because you look at how the Surface line is, they did a lot of changes. They wanted to go after a lot of the market that Apple seems to be trying to leave behind. Apple's very much into the whole designer, power user on the graphic design side, editor, stuff like that. And the machines that they're building now is kind of going away from that, where it seems like Microsoft is picking it up, right?
Yep.
I kind of see a lot of that going on, like with Xbox. And I think sometimes their silence kind of like denotes it. I don't think it's very much like how it was in the past. It's like throw all this money at these studios or this and that. I think they were like, you got to stop the hemorrhaging. How do we stop the hemorrhaging? Mm-hmm. I think that was I definitely think there was a meeting at some point that said, what do we do? We're going to go in this direction. We're going to shift. Where are our strengths? Where are our weaknesses? And I think that's why you saw studios being closed, no studios being open. Because it doesn't seem like either, like a lot of the base cares about that. It seems like we're more in the minority. The guys who are like, I want a single player game, give it to me. Like, I heard something, but I didn't see it. I can't. It's like, did you guys hear that?
Yeah, exactly.
But the multiplayer side is like loud.
Yep.
And that's all But that's what I said too. I get annoyed with the people who, like, if you're being vocal as a fan, like, I'm going to be vocal to the point like they just don't hear me anymore. But if I'm being vocal, don't step on me and be like, just go with just go with like, no, you're wrong. Like they're doing this. It's like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I have a consumer voice and I'll go down fighting with it, But eventually, if my fight is no longer being heard and this is what they're going to do, then I'll have to make decisions, for the type of thing that I want. But I'm also smart enough to know it ain't about me. To an extent, you know what I'm saying? It's a company. They're there to make money.
Yeah.
If something isn't making money for them, it does not happen.
Yeah. I just, again, I'm with you guys on this. I think that things have changed, and I've been there since day one. If I look back at everything, you can see it. If you've been there from day one, you can see it. You can see the change. I think that we have that kind of perspective that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
Because we were there 15 years ago. So, all right, let's get to the. So speaking of Microsoft, the Xbox, there is a new Xbox UI that's out right now for the. Is it alpha members?
Yeah, alpha ring.
Yeah.
And I'm not an alpha member, so I did not get the dashboard update. Have you guys seen the new dashboard? Have you guys watched any videos or walkthroughs?
No, I haven't really watched any of the walkthroughs. I just kind of see what people are like sharing picture-wise and talking about, and it's kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched Jez's video from Windows Central on, just some home screen stuff. And it was like a quick video. I think it was like 6 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks cool, but, it's not a new game or anything, so I could care less, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's brutal, B.
I mean, I'm just telling you, like, this is the problem with Xbox. Like, you guys know, multi-console owner. I own pretty much every console that's out.
Yep.
For the Xbox this entire year, I've bought 2 games. Tekken 7 and Ghost Recon, which I play with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm.
Literally, every other game I bought this year has been pretty much exclusive. I don't think I've bought many third-party games this year, besides Tekken. That was the only game I really hyped up this year. And then Ghost Recon, which I bought on Xbox. But besides that, most of the games I bought this year have been exclusive to PlayStation because they just provided the games that I wanted to play. So, for me, I'm waiting for Cuphead, waiting for Super Lucky's Tale. I'm gonna check that out.
Same here.
I'm still on the fence about Crackdown. Need to see a little bit more.
Yeah,
same here.
But other than that, like, I mean, Xbox just been chilling. Like, it's cool to get dashboard updates, but I mean, I haven't really been on a console, to be honest. You haven't given me a reason to care about the dashboard update because I haven't been on there. So,
wow.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted, man. I know when you kind of talk on one side of it, people start thinking that you're just hating, you're browbeating. It's not browbeating. We're talking as consumers and what we want. I ain't gonna front. I get annoyed at shit when I see people overhyping UI. and trust me when I say this. I'm all for a new feature being added. I'm all for a refresh. I'm all for a new look. We all do. When we get an update to our phone and they change them, you're like, oh shit, nice. But that's it. Oh shit, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah, but
oh my god, the new UI is out. And here's the funny part too. It's being hyped. They're doing videos on it. And it's not like it's even for the whole base.
Right. For the alpha ring.
It's for the alpha ring, which is what? How many percentage of the whole base?
Super small.
Right. But there's a video being made, Ibarra and Major sitting down to do a video, and I'm like,
they should do a video on Crackdown 3.
And I'm sure I'm probably pissing people off, but hey, whatever.
You know what, man? But it annoys me. Like, we're not. This is the part that kind of like that I just don't understand. Like, we're not like saying it sucks or anything. No, we're voicing our thoughts, our concerns as consumers, and the fact of the matter is, this thing has changed a lot. And look, the first UI dashboard we had, after they ditched Connect, I understand why it needed to be updated, right? Mm-hmm. But it just keeps changing. And I just don't understand. Like, why does it keep changing? Now, I will say this: I do like the new home screen. It does look a little more.
You're the only one I heard say that. But a lot of people here, I shouldn't say the only one, but most people over here are saying they don't like the home screen. That's the thing they don't like the most. I want to shout out to HDK because he had the funniest tweet earlier. I don't even think you were trying to be funny, HDK, but you just said they both suck. Xbox and Sony. Bro, I was rolling. I'm not gonna lie. When you tweeted that out, I was rolling, man.
No, but I will say that I do like the home stream. I feel like it's a little more streamlined. It's a little bit cleaner. But like look at Sony. I mean, Sony really hasn't done these major overhauls with their with their update and with their UI. They just what they've done is they've taken certain aspects of their dashboard and tweak things, right? Maybe improve things. Like now, there's a new dashboard update that's coming out for the PlayStation, where I think now you can be able to stream Twitch 1080p 60 FPS, right? But like, I mean, what is this like?
Something I don't care about.
Yeah, like how many dashboard updates have we gotten though so far? And it makes me think, like, what's going on? Like, why can't they get this thing right?
Dude, I look at it like this. It's quite simple. We don't even have to browbeat it. I am a gamer. I get excited about hearing about games. UI is a cherry on top. It shouldn't be, overly hyped. It just shouldn't be. But they go out there, they put it out there, they overhype it, and then but the fans on Twitter, and I said this, I think I said this to you, Enrique. I said, the other day when people were doing that tweet your unpopular opinion, I was close to tweeting out, Microsoft needs to stop listening to their Twitter base. Seriously, stop listening to them. Like, because there's so much listening to them. You're getting. That's why you keep hearing, "Hey, we got more new controllers." I'm like, great, controllers are great, but you're not giving me what I want. I'm being selfish right now. It's what I want. You know what I'm saying? A UI, that's great, but why can't Major and Mikey Barr sit down and play Crackdown?
It's a good question, man.
Show me some Crackdown.
That's a good question.
Get me hype for Crackdown. Like, I want to give you my. Here's my money. I got my checkbook out. Well, not really checkbook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My debit card with the chip in it. Let's go.
Yeah.
But it is. But then you also get. Well, wait till Gamescom, man. Wait till Gamescom.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just again, I just saw this dashboard update and I was kind of taken back. I was really surprised that they were doing this again.
Well, it's fall. It's coming up on fall, so it's about that time. But it's just like.
I mean, how many times can they do this though? I mean, it's like, I just don't. I guess for me, it's like the question is, what's going? Like, why couldn't they done this before?
Well, it's not that they're doing it. It's not that they're like, why are they doing this again? It's because they have the preview rings.
Yeah.
So when you announce it for the alpha, okay, alpha people are messing with it for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what, guys? The new build is out, and now it's available for the second tier.
Yeah.
And now it's available for the third tier. So by the time you get down to the point where it's actually going out to the base, you're like, how many? Is this the same one? That's all I'm saying. It's just so it seems like it's not like they're really like constantly, they're just talking about it more. But I also, at the times, I just kind of feel, and this is me personally, send your hate tweets to me directly, DM me. But me personally, it's a diversion tactic. It's like, this is what the base gets excited for this, so this is what we'll talk about. Controllers make us a lot of dope. We'll talk about that. UIs,
I don't know, man.
Why don't they talk about their games?
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
Correct. I mean, Cuphead is coming soon. You don't see or hear anything about it.
That's the part that stumps me.
Next month.
The game has been in development forever, so we know what it is. But you just, I don't know, man. You just see the time Sony doesn't shut up about their games.
You're gonna get a lot of hate DMs.
All right.
A lot of hate tweets.
No, only people I got to worry about their feelings are my wife and my daughter. I got to worry about these grown ass men on Twitter anymore.
Facts.
Yeah. It's the truth though. Like I said, man, it's all about the games at the end of the day. And unfortunately, once again, we have to wait until the end of the year, until we get into games. So,
well,
actually, we don't, because there's a lot of games coming out in August this month.
For Xbox?
Oh, I thought you meant. Never mind. I was just.
You know what I mean? So
I was just speaking in general. Like there's
plenty of games to play this month.
Yeah.
Nobody's
multi-console owner. But when it comes to Xbox, we got to wait until the end of September. Then,
Well, Tacoma just came out for Xbox.
yeah,
I gotta pick that up. But hey,
check that out.
Chicken said it's still not working.
Yeah, Chicken said it's still not working.
Yeah.
Damn. That sucks.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'll be there when PUBG comes out. You know what I mean? I think it's supposed to drop day and date with the X.
I think it is too.
I'll check that out. But it's like
I'm gonna get my ass handed to me, but I'll be there.
Yeah, you know.
I was watching Kofi live streaming yesterday.
No, PUBG is interesting. I mean, it's like Rand said last week, it could be one of those phenomenon games. So I definitely want to see what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a huge game for them to have.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know? So, but again, I made the joke, a few months ago when they first announced it was coming. I was like, that'll take care of the multiplayer shooter problem that they have. And that's a joke, and I hope people understand. This is joking. Like, all this is jokes. Nobody should take any of this serious.
Nah, someone's gonna take it serious, man.
I don't think anybody in our chat will, but
Look,
I just want to see people support Cuphead when it comes out.
Yep.
I want to see people support Super Lucky's Tale when it comes out. You know what I mean? Don't be all talk all year long. You know what I mean? Trashing all these other games, but you don't support games on a platform of your choice, man.
Mm-hmm.
They always talk about they want new IPs, new games or whatever. But they ain't support the games that came out. I've gotten every one of those exclusives that came out, except for Scream Ride, because I wasn't.
I didn't do Scream Ride, and I'm not a Forza Motorsport guy. But everything else,
I'm there for. So you know what I mean? Like, I've supported every one of those games. More people need to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not. I mean, personally, and maybe that'll change, but I'm not really looking at Sea of Thieves. But to those who are, awesome. Support it. That's all I would say. Support it. And I'm not big into State of Decay.
I didn't really. Those would probably be two I'll pass on, to be honest.
Yeah. Super Lucas Tale looks awesome. That's right up my alley. I'm down with that. Let's roll. I'm hoping Cuphead turns out to be something special. But honestly, I think I tweeted this out. I said, when it comes to their games right now, I'm not a day one preloaded. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Especially after Recore. I was day one on Recore, and I still haven't finished Recore. And now there's apparently a definitive edition coming.
Yeah, definitive edition, man. You got to get that robot that was on the cover of the original game, man.
Let me ask you about that. You think that should be a free update for people who already have it?
It better be, or I ain't getting it.
Right.
It should be a free update. Well, hopefully it is. We'll see. We'll find out.
Right.
Good enough.
No, man, Max, you're right, man. Cuphead looks awesome as hell, man. I'm hoping that could be. Yeah, I mean, and everyone's talking about it. We've not really seen a game. We've never seen a game like that. I should not say not. We've never seen a game like that, and what they're putting into that game is crazy. The man hours and the animation, that's insane.
Yeah, all
so that has the potential to be a very special game.
Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, big shout out to Lord Cognito, just joined us.
Yo, what's up? What's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm actually I may be on the Iron Lords podcast this Sunday.
You mean may? Gotta be in there, man.
Yeah, no, I just gotta make sure my schedule's clear for this Sunday for 1 p.m. So
get you some brunch. Get ready.
Get brunch, some Bloody Marys.
Nah, man, that's the fam, man. They have a good podcast.
No, they definitely do. I've been trying to get Lord to come on, but schedule conflict. So it looks like I'll probably be on their podcast this Sunday at 1 p.m. So
yeah, good dudes. Yeah. They tell it like it is. That's all I ask for from podcasts. Tell it like it is.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Be honest.
I ain't gonna get mad.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the podcast for this evening. Great conversation as always.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I gotta get back to Edith Finch. I gotta beat that, and then I gotta pick up HellBlade. That's my goal this week.
Yeah, man. It's 2 solid games.
Both great games right there, man. Mm-hmm. If you haven't checked out Edith Finch, man, that's on multiple consoles, man. Definitely go check that out. Or Remains of Edith Finch was an excellent game.
Yeah, I just picked it up. Like I said, I picked it up last week for the on the Xbox actually.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it. Great game.
It is, man. Definitely is.
That's another game, man, that you could have like a non-gamer sit down and kind of watch you play.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the story is just that engaging.
Oh, it is. It's really engaging. Really engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of stuff to play, man. Like I said, nobody's hurting. Like for anything to play. There's more games than any one person can play.
Yeah,
along with everything else in life. Yeah, man.
Craziest year we've had in a very long time, man. So can't complain.
Yeah, shout out to Jeff on Super Deformed Gamecast. He actually listed in Twitter today like all the games that have dropped this year, and it was just like holy shit. You know, I was like when he typed it out, it was like wow, it's like insane.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's crazy, and it kicks off the busy season for sure.
Ain't getting no slower.
Nope.
No sir.
Nope. Burn my wallet.
Anybody think anything getting delayed for the fall? Mario?
No, Mario's not getting delayed.
Nah, that's not getting delayed. That's coming out, and that thing's gonna sell gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of movement. You know what I mean? Because November really doesn't have that many games.
Right.
So there might be something that slides back a little bit into like late November. I mean, the 27th is packed with Assassin's Creed, Wolfenstein, and then Mario. So one of those could slip. Wolfenstein might move a little bit. I hope Bethesda does well, man, because they kind of put Dishonored in a rough spot, and then I don't know what the numbers are on Prey, but I don't think a lot of people pick that up. So
yeah,
doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, hopefully they treat those games right and maybe move them if they need to, if they feel like they can be a little bit more successful. So
right,
I mean, that expansion and then Wolfenstein comes out like right on top of each other. So
yeah, and I'm gonna be all over that Dishonored expansion.
Yeah, man. So
damn, so many games. This is crazy. And then we have Uncharted. The DLC comes on the 22nd. That's right around the corner.
Oh yeah, and it's not just a 2 or 3 hour DLC. This is almost a proper Uncharted game. It's almost like the first Uncharted game. You know, like 10 hours or so. So it's definitely worth the pick up if you got the expansion pass with the original Uncharted. It is free for you, so definitely pick that up. And I think if you get it, they actually have the Jack and Dexter collection comes with it too. So
oh, nice.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Nice. All right, gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the podcast for the evening. B Money and Eric, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure, gentlemen, to shoot the shit and talk video games with you guys.
Yeah, man.
Anytime, always.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna have to get back into some Ghost Recon or something.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Just got to iron out the times, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you, everyone, for stopping in and hanging out with us this evening and listening to our rants and our mini topics. And if you haven't done so already, remember to hit the like button, give us a sub, tell your friends about us. And on that note, we will catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may be doing a rant, maybe going on a little bit more of a rant on the whole Cliffy B thing.
Right after the podcast, tune in.
Yeah. The late night. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I might do a late night rant. Throwing dicks. Oh my God. I'm sorry. That whole bag of dicks thing is just.
That was funny too, man.
That was pretty funny.
It's kind of a funny way to piece somebody out. They're like, man, eat a bag of dicks. Like later. Kind of funny.
Yeah. It was funny. Absolutely. Oh my God. All right, gentlemen. So we're gonna call it a wrap. Thank you for watching Brap. That rhymes. And we'll catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time again. And we got Gamescom coming up too, guys.
Yeah,
man. Looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah. When is Gamescom again? It's
last weekend in August, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it is.
oh, you know what? I'm actually out of town on vacation the last week of August. Yeah. By the way, we won't have a brap that week because I'll be out of town that last week of August. So, all right, gentlemen. Well, thank you again, and big shout out again to everyone in the live chat. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
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 Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace. Peace.